After the Allies liberated France in the west and the Germans were defeated on the Eastern Front by the Soviet Union, a counteroffensive began from both sides, advancing towards Berlin to definitively eliminate the Third Reich. During this advance, the Yalta Conference was held in February 1945, bringing together Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, American President Franklin Roosevelt, and British Prime Minister Churchill. The conference discussed the division of German territories between the Soviets and the West after the end of the war, and it was agreed to divide the city of Berlin between the two parties. Stalin did not like this and ordered his forces to move as quickly as possible to Berlin before the arrival of the Americans and the British. On April 16th, the assault on the outskirts of the city began with more than 2.5 million Soviet soldiers and about 6,300 tanks, while 7,500 warplanes bombed the city day and night for weeks. The Soviet plan changed slightly, and a force moved to encircle the city from all sides to prevent their allies from entering it and to block German supplies from other regions. Meanwhile, another force aimed to eliminate the German panzer forces positioned in the Silo Heights to the north, whose mission was to protect the capital. Inside the city, the Germans were preparing to defend their city to the death, though only inexperienced troops, children, and elderly non-combatants remained. All of them took to the streets and took up arms, estimated to be about 300,000. There were not enough machine guns and ammunition. The most abundant weapon available was the Panzerfaust anti-tank rocket launcher, which civilian men and women were quickly trained to use in the last days. In a final, desperate effort, Adolf Hitler ordered his last SS forces, the Nazi Party Guard, to launch a counterattack on the northern front. But these forces were crushed. The Soviet target was the Reichstag, a historic political building of great symbolic importance to the Nazis. Around this building, the fiercest battles took place, and tens of thousands were killed on both sides. On April 30th, Soviet soldiers captured the building and the Soviet flag was raised, one of the most famous images in history. On the same day, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. 2 days later, General Helmuth Weidling, commander of the German forces in Berlin, surrendered, thus marking the end of the war in Europe. The Soviets estimate their casualties in this battle at 81,000, compared to 500,000 German dead, mostly civilians. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, leave us a like and go watch our other videos.